Born and raised in the Bronx, you may know that. I tend to bring it up a lot. And I grew up knowing all about big New York City public figures, and I read the papers and the tabloids every day. And I remember when they finally got the mob boss, John Gotti. He was convicted for a whole bunch of crimes. The thing is, John Gotti was basically a public criminal for over 20 years before they got him. Everyone knew what he was up to. He was called the Teflon Don because charges didn't seem to stick to him, a nickname that has since been applied to another infamous Don. And in the end, Gotti was finally convicted because prosecutors got his lieutenant, Sammy the Bull Gravano, to flip and testify about the many murders they committed together.
Good evening. This time, the wise guy smirk disappeared. John Gotti, the modern godfather, the so-called Teflon Don. He always escaped the big convictions in the past, but not today. Guilty of murder and racketeering, 12 counts, and now facing a long time in jail.
The best evidence that Gotti was a mob boss came from his own mouth over FBI bugs.
This is going to be a full emotion to let it die. Be it an hour from now, be it tonight, or 100 years from now, I'm in jail. It's going to be a full emotion.
Now, there's a reason it took forever to nail Gotti. He was careful, and they set up all kinds of ways to shield him, right, from criminal liability. And you need solid evidence or good witnesses or both to convict in that kind of case, complex, high-profile case. Now, all that is something to remember when you read reports the Manhattan District Attorney has convened a grand jury to hear evidence and weigh potential charges against Donald Trump, or that the New York Attorney General's office, which is cooperating with the Manhattan DA, is criminally investigating Trump's right-hand man and CFO, Alan Weisselberg. That those two offices are seeking to turn Mr. Weisselberg into a cooperating witness against Mr. Trump and the Trump Organization. Now, Alan Weisselberg certainly knows Trump's business as well as anyone in the world. He was first hired as an accountant by Trump's father, Fred, more than 40 years ago, and he's been the chief financial officer of the Trump Org for over 20 years. And now prosecutors might have another key piece of leverage to get him to spill the beans on Donald Trump. Emails that, according to David Corn of Mother Jones, tie Weisselberg to the Trump Inauguration Committee, a committee that is currently being investigated by the Attorney General in Washington, D.C. for essentially grifting funds to benefit the Trump family. And David Corn, Washington Bureau Chief of Mother Jones, joins me now. David, great to have you. Tell us what these emails are and what they indicate.
Well, first, we have to remember there's a scandal that hasn't gotten a lot of attention. And that's about the Trump Inauguration Committee. It's called the Presidential Inauguration. The PIC is what people refer to it as. And it's being investigated. It's a civil investigation, not a criminal investigation, not criminal yet, by the D.C. Attorney General, Karl Racine, for basically taking what was charitable money, it's a nonprofit, and using it to enrich, guess what, the Trump family by overpaying payments at the Trump Hotel for events that were held and events that weren't held at the Trump Hotel, and for holding a lavish party for the Trump family costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Basically, the Attorney General of D.C. has accused the Trump family of using the inauguration to grift, to line their pockets with hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is corruption from not even the first day of the presidency, but, starting the day before the presidency, the week before. And so in that investigation, it turns out there was a court filing that no one really paid attention to that came out a year ago that had emails in it that showed in April of 2018, 2017, excuse me,
right,
when there were questions about the Trump finances, the Trump inauguration finances, what did they do? They said Alan Weisselberg should be in charge or overseeing the internal audit. Now, this is really weird, right? Because it's a nonprofit that paid a lot of money to the Trump Organization, probably improperly. That's what we know now. And they went to the guy who runs the money and the numbers of the Trump Organization and said, you oversee the audit. You look at what's going on here. There's no good explanation for this.
No.
And so no one picked up on this until I found these emails this week.
So we should also just set the context here, which was always the case, that this inauguration, they raised and spent 2 or 3 times what the Obama inauguration was for what was manifestly a smaller affair. And it's always been a bit of a head-scratching thing, like, where'd all the money go? We saw it.
$107 million, $107 million they raised. You're right, it's twice the $53 million that Obama raised. It's unclear still where the money went. And they had a lot of trouble afterwards putting together their final financials. and the reports, and there was a lot of back and forth. Stephanie Winston Wolkoff writes about this in her book, Melania and Me, because she worked for the PIC. And so we have Alan Weisselberg, who's in charge of the company that's getting some of the questionable payments, now overseeing the audit. And to top this off, a couple of weeks ago, Carl Racine tried to extend the discovery in the D.C. case in order to take his deposition. So they're finally onto him down in D.C., and they want to bring him in for questioning.
Wait, so they want to bring in Weisselberg to depose in this case?
In this case, they now want, they went to the judge and said, we need more time for discovery because we want to bring him in. So again, it's a civil case, not a criminal case, but it shows yet again, he's in the middle of what seems to be, at least it's an alleged example of Trump grift.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of points to the fact, I mean, you've got this situation in which the allegation is that the committee is essentially skimming off the top for Trump org, and you bring in the Trump org accountant who would be on the receiving end of those payments, essentially, or overseeing them to run the audit. But it's also another example of, like, he's in the middle of all of this, right? I mean, he is the guy. He's the guy. They've been saying it forever. We know that Cy Vance and Letitia James's offices have their eyes on him. We know they've talked to investigated his kids, according to reporting. Do you see him as the central figure based on all your reporting here?
Other than someone in the immediate family, yes, right? Because, what is Trump being investigated for? Various types of tax fraud through Trump Organization, various types of business fraud. It's a closely held company. It's run with just a few people. There's no middle management, very, very little at the Trump Organization. So it's Donald Trump Sr., it's his three kids, Junior, Eric, and Ivanka, and it's Alan Weisselberg and a few others. So he knows where everything is. He was involved in the Trump Foundation. Remember, that was shut down too for rampant gross illegality.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing that goes on in the Trump business world that he's not involved with. So he is the Rosetta Stone. Yeah,
I should say three of his four children, Tiffany Trump, I see you, got your back. David Corn, great reporting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.